What's good, superstars? Back with another Veve video. You got Superstar Joe, you got Superstar Rob in the building. How's it going, Rob?
That's pretty good.
Man, I haven't filmed in like 2 weeks, I feel like. Guys, if you're new here, do not forget. Become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification so you know whenever we post some Veve content for your faces. You can also become a superstar VIP. $2.99 a month. Hit the join button down below. If you're a VIP for 2 years, you can get one of these hats. If you've been in one for 2 years, let us know. Give us your address. There's been people sending in their addresses the last couple of weeks. Rob's been getting them those hats. Easy peasy. But also, you get entered into giveaways. We owe November and December giveaways. We're thinking to do them together. They're going to be on a Twitter stream. We did that last time. I like how that worked. It's been a really busy month, obviously, for both of us. So trying to get that all sorted out, make sure we have some good prizes for you guys. But yeah, definitely have everybody tracked from November, and we'll track everybody from December. Nobody will be missed. You can follow us on X, follow us on Instagram, join the Discord. We have a great Veve chat over there. Lots of people talking about it. A lot more positive nowadays than it's been in the past. Exciting to see that. We have an OMI chat as well for those of you into the OMI crypto stuff. And we got some big things coming up for Veve in the near soon future. Rob, how's it going?
It's going great. I think that the Discord, guys, is always the place. We do not do videos daily anymore, but the Discord is still live 24/7. You can always jump in there. I mean, we got video ideas that we still do from there just because of the Discord. Somebody's like, oh, hey, by the way, I think it was Veve fans actually. Can you do a video on Pinnacle? So then that day, we said, okay, we'll do a video on Pinnacle. So join the Discord is the best way to connect with Superstar Nation. And yeah, definitely, there's been a much more positive outlook on Veve recently. And I think they've been putting in the work to try to, I guess, change a little bit of how the community was responding to certain aspects of the project over the last number of months. But we noticed specifically in Q4 this year, there seemed to have been, from my perspective, the most impactful change on that view, right? And we're seeing more of that in the comments now as well. So, I mean, I think we can really see that change happening. Why don't you start us off, Joe, on what you think has happened that has led to Veve having such a great Q4 and kind of changing the outlook of the project in that time period?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I've noticed is that it appears that the gatekeeping is dead. I mean, there was a time in the period where there were members in the community who were trying to say who's in the community, who's in the fam, who's not in the fam. There was like almost like cultish vibes. We have a video about Veve, if it's a cult or not. That's back in the day when we were very, very pro the future of the space, pro everything. A little bit more balanced opinion now as time goes on here. But I think that they've managed to kind of flush out that gatekeeping aspect. It was almost as if they were starting to believe what people were talking about in the community, trying to keep it purist. And now it seems that they are kind of open to all kinds of opinions, which is better, which is good. Move in the right direction. Like to see that. I think that they've started to listen more to the community feedback, even if they don't necessarily communicate it directly. It appears as though they're starting to say, like, you know what, like everybody is a customer. It's not that only certain people are customers. Everybody's voice matters. I mean, we know recently what happened with the James Bond airdrop. I mean, I'm not a meme anymore. They made it whole, didn't get the poster, but got something else unique just because of how those drops at the right time, they made that good. What they're going to do for other drops that have happened in the past that had blunders, not too sure. We'll have to find out what happens there. But just the fact that anything is happening at all is different. Like there was like, I'm telling you, when we first joined this app, great community vibes. You had the Clubhouse stuff before. You had Discord and the Twitter Spaces. You had the Clubhouse Spaces. Now you had the Twitter Space. You had the Discord. Lots of community engagement. Anybody can go up, talk on stage. It was great vibes where anybody felt like you were part of the community, felt like you could talk to the team, and there was no exclusivity. Then there became all this stuff where you go to these different events and there's a crew that would go to Disney with them, and there would be the crew that's only allowed to have interviews with David and Dan. Then there was a crew that did this and a crew that, it was very, very isolating for a lot of the community members. I'm sure a lot of you watching this probably felt that way. And I know for a fact that people feel like there's been favoritism in the app. Is it confirmed that there's been favoritism? No. Is it confirmed that there's been a list of people who are only able to interview or only able to talk to the team? No, but that vibe was definitely felt by the community. I mean, you can ask a lot of people in the community, they'll give you the same feelings. That seems to be gone at this point. It seems as though the team is starting to percolate into the openness here and try to hear from everybody, because they understand, and it seems like there's been a huge culture shift, that they understand that 10 people don't make a community. Everybody makes the community. And if you start to listen to everybody and at least make them feel heard, you're going to have positive results.
Yeah, so first of all, you said something that I wanted to go back and check, but you talked about the cult video. We made this video, like, this was a different time. This is a different time, man. We made this video January 12th, 2022, and it was titled "Veve Cults Are Forming." So we were early on the curve there about the cults forming, at least. And of course, you know, you see the banter on X, and sometimes you have people saying, "Oh, like this is like a cult," but I don't think it really matters at the end of the day. I think that at this point in time, there's been a lot of things that have happened over the years, but ultimately, what has changed, I think, is the communication. And I think that is, when it comes down to it, I think that's one of the biggest things changed. I like how you kind of walked down memory lane there, that there was almost ultra communication at the beginning. I think it was almost too much information. It was so much information that the entire team was extremely accessible at all times. There was very, very regular spaces. There's very regular AMAs. But what ended up happening, I think, is that there was a few statements that ended up getting them in a bit of trouble. Certain promises that were, you know, things were going to get done in a certain day and time that then did not happen. I think, as Ben Rose would say, you don't want to over-promise and under-deliver, right? So that's basically what happened over the period of those years. And then they started saying, well, you know what? Let's just communicate less, so that way we don't give it any future guidance that may come back to bite us later. And I think they went too far to the other extreme, where they did too little communication over many, many things. And then I will note that specifically with the hiring of Ben Rose coming in, taking control and taking the lead, you can clearly see a distinct difference now in how Veve is managing the community, and the way they're really doing that at the core of it, I think, is communication. And you saw that as well with, recently we just saw on the Real Uncommon podcast, Aloha Friday, David Yu joined. So they had a chance to sit down with David Yu on that chat. We have, for the first time ever, a Veve CEO joining us on our channel here for an AMA. You also have, not just with us, Ben Rose has gone with he's gone on a number of other channels now.
He's gone with everybody. He's been good.
Yeah, he's been good. He's gone, and he's basically answered many questions that people had. Now, you know, he can only answer so many questions because he wasn't around for some of these things in the past that may be unresolved, but he can definitely answer questions about the future, pretty important questions about the future. And I hope that, we have a list of questions that we want to ask, and we're hoping that we can have a pretty good discussion about that to see if we can get some answers for the community. Because the last time I did an AMA, I have no regrets with that. We did it with Reese, and we got all kinds of answers to our questions, which I think were really, really helpful. So hopefully, now that we have an opportunity to do this too, we can get some more info as well.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that interview we did with Reese was so successful was because there was no holds barred. It was like, ask us anything, and Reese was really willing to answer anything. And it gave the community insights. He was careful with his answers, even if you go back and watch it. He didn't spill the tea. I think he did a good job actually keeping it in and only preparing people for the future. He told everybody, take your coins off Biforex. Rob did a video on that. He told everybody, the Marvel Mighties, expect nothing more than what you have. If you listen to what they were saying in the interview, you would not be surprised by a lot of things that have happened over the time. I mean, people get disappointed in certain things, but you're not listening to the message that the team has been communicating directly. So I do think, despite there being some timelines and things that have missed, I think that they've also done good communication early on, like I mentioned, because they did those types of things. They did the AMAs. They let people understand exactly what their product was. It was very clear. Then they went through this silence period, which I think was terrible for the company because people were guessing and then they're speculating. And then that speculation leads to more disappointment, which was like a snowball. And anytime that they would speculate and something didn't happen, it was more disappointment, more disappointment, more disappointment. Mix that with the fact that the crowd that was on the app was here purely for investment purposes only. People did not want to collect when they joined this app. Everybody who came here wanted to flip and make money. Don't care who you are. You can twist it however you want. You can say that you were here to collect. You're a liar. Okay. We all know what happened in the early days, how much things were going for. You had Superman going for like 3,000 gems. You were here because you wanted to make those flips. You wanted to land the drop. You were using a massage gun to hit the button to land the drop so that you can sell it for 10x because that's the only place that you could do it. That's why your friends got into the app. And that's why also your friends are yelling at you now because the investment's gone down so much. Now that it is a collecting app and the way that it's being branded and marketed is for collecting purposes. And even the way that it's being built and structured is for collecting purposes. They've done a lot of good things. They've done this evolution thing. We haven't really done a video on it. I got so much in this brain to talk about when it comes to Veve, but it's just been like there's been so many emotions with this app and with the team and with everything, like really, really high. So we go back to our channel, watch it. Then we went through some ups and downs. Okay. Always trying to provide positive, constructive feedback to help move this along, move it forward, where we saw it going, the vision. A lot of creators had the same vision. A lot of creators stopped making content. Why? We did a video on that too. Go check that one out about why creators stopped making content. But the whole thing here is that there's change. It's noticeable change at this point. Okay. There's noticeable change. And Q4, like Rob said, the introduction of Ben Rose, there's obviously been personnel change. I mean, it's obvious that there's been personnel change because a lot of things that maybe were unprofessional from before that were being allowed are no longer appearing to be allowed anymore. And it appears that there's more structure and more community importance. The customer now matters. All right. Before it was, we sell, you buy. You don't like it, too bad. I don't care. Now it's, we sell, you buy. But if you don't like it, we'll try and make it better so that you do like it because we want our customers happy. Retention seems to be another thing that is on top of the list because users were just melting away. One thing that we do notice is that the product maybe is the number one thing that they could start to focus on in terms of making it more appealing to the generic person. I understand that collecting, and you hear it all the time, collecting is $1 billion industry. There's collectors all over the place that want to spend their money on collectibles. Different things. It's different things, and we have a lot of video. We can do videos on that as well, but we need to see utility. It's the end all be all. NFT technology is meant to be paired with utility. If we don't do it, then it's going to be something that why is the average person who collects a physical comic book, collects a physical toy, collects a physical whatever that has that devaluation by degradation over time, why are they going to go to something that doesn't have those same values, that they don't have to keep in pristine condition, that doesn't, there's a different thing, a different value to it. So the fact that you have a digital asset, you can make it so that it has a utility that only that digital asset has and continually has. So maybe that will be the Veveverse. We haven't seen the Veveverse. We're not in the Veveverse. Maybe that will be what the max utility is. Maybe there will be more. Maybe we're going to see branded worlds like we were promised early on. Maybe we won't. We hope to get some clarity on some of these things in our interview with Ben coming up on January 2nd. But again, very big strides and baby steps, guys. I know that a lot of people, we did a positive video on Veve. I mean, and we promise that we will always be fair and open and honest with our opinion on what we think. And we've done that. When we don't like something, we talk about. When we do like something, we're going to talk about it. So if you don't like that we were positive in a video about Veve, you got to look at yourself because maybe you're being very biased towards the opinion. If they're doing something right, we got to acknowledge it. And that's only fair to the companies, fair to the people working there who are putting in their time and efforts. And especially when they start to listen to the community and try to make those changes, we got to throw them their flowers. So great strides so far.
I think going into 2025, I'm expecting to see some pretty good things coming from them. I think the Veveverse being delivered is one, and I think that the community, those who have beta, have kind of talked about what it's going to be and what it's going to look like. That's the only information we've had. They've done recently some sneak peeks. So I think they've tampered down the expectations that it's not going to be, like you're racing Lambos for you're gambling, right? So you're not, it won't be something like that necessarily. So I think that in going into 2025, there's a lot of potential there to do something different. And I think the utility is the key. I agree, Joe. Like NFT technology in the early days was kind of known as an expression of yourself online. And some of the very early ones, they're selling for some insane amount of money for these JPEGs. And people make fun of that all the time. And technology takes a long time for mass adoption. NFT technology, even though it's been like 7 years, maybe 8 years, going to 8 years now, in terms of mass adoption, that actually may not be that long of a time. They may need more time for that to be integrated. Do I really think, though, that just an expression of yourself online is going to cut it for some mass adoption? Probably not. I think that there's so much more potential with the technology that it has to go beyond that. And I think that's why utility matters so much. And I think with Veve specifically, if we go back to the initial discussion about why this AR projection is so cool, it's because it could be geo-referenced. Then you can own this piece. If you own this piece, then you could project it in your house. Other people can come in with their goggles and they can see a world that doesn't actually exist in the physical, but exists in the digital. And you can debate all day on whether or not the free version or the paid version is going to matter more. But I think in the end, that's the kind of utility that when it becomes mainstream, Veve has that foothold in that market now. The Veveverse is going to help in terms of the metaverse. It just gives some more to do with the collectibles. But I still think that it may not be something that your average person is going to want to sit down on their computer and engulf, themselves or immerse themselves in that world. So I think it's still a long way to go. That doesn't mean, though, that Veve can't have a good 2025. So we'll see what they have, and I'm definitely going to keep up the communication going. What they've done in Q4, if they can keep that momentum in 2025, I think they're going to have another good year in 20. I mean, the end of 2024, I think they really did a good job. Really stood out to me. And if they can keep that momentum going into 2025, they may have a really good year in 2025. So,
including people, including creators, including community, allowing people to ask their questions. That's the right steps that they're doing. And I hope they continue to do this, like you said, next year, 2025 and beyond, because early days, that's what was happening. Early days was the most hype. Early days is when you built the fam. If you need to rebuild the fam, what better way than keep doing this? So kudos to Ben for even agreeing to all of these AMAs, not just ours, going on everybody's stream. He's been on Real and Comment Pod as well. He's been on today. He was on Mains on Twitter. I didn't catch it, but he's been all over the place. So I don't even know if he spends any time with the family anymore, because he's been spending time with the Veve fam like crazy, getting integrated. And I think that's a great way to get started over here, because you're going to start to learn and understand the different people around and see what the community really wants. And when it's coming from someone at the top, couldn't ask for more. So good job, and hopefully we keep it up.
Yeah, and we're going to be celebrating our 3 years actually with Ben. We've been doing this now for 3 years, and we're going to have the AMA on the January the 2nd. So I encourage everybody to come by, check it out, sit in, listen in. I think it's going to be a live stream too. So I mean, you could put some questions in the chat there. But definitely join us, hit the bell as well. And before you go, don't forget, smash the subscribe button, join the Superstar fam, hit that bell notification button so you know when we post. Also, you can make sure when we set this live, you'll get a notification that we have gone live. Also, thank you to our VIPs. Thank you guys for your support. We've sent out so many of these. And remind us, I mean, we got a lot of people, but if you hit that super duper rare and you're watching this, go on X, go on Discord, holler at us, let us know you've met the threshold, because I need your address. So even though you meet the threshold and I want to send it to you automatically, I can't, because I don't know where to send it. So give me your address so I can send you this hat. Thank you all for your support. Everybody, take care. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.